Hey guys, welcome back to day three of doing the Romain Édouard calculation training. And yes, I did it the last time, I guess, on 9th, and today is 21. So 12 days gap is definitely something very inappropriate, and I should do it daily. And even if I skip one day, that should be considered inappropriate, but I skipped a lot of days. So apologies for that to whoever was watching. And well, I was a bit caught up for the last few days and some personal stuff. I had to travel to. I went to Gujarat. I went to Delhi for some work, and I had to travel a lot. So yeah, it was quite uh, you know quite a busy week. But never mind. I thought that whenever I'm going to do these things, and also I've been working on this book lately, so most of my time spent on chess is just being utilized here. So yeah. So that's quite appropriate. But let's just start it. And I am very indisciplined, and that ridiculously undisciplined behavior of mine is definitely not justified at any cost. But it is what it is, guys. Let's try to stay consistent and let me give my best, and God will do the rest. So let's see where were we last time. I guess we were on this puzzle, which was this one. Where we give this queen g6 pretty check, and that was a mate. And then coming to this puzzle uh, where we overthought about playing h7, then queen h3, and this was a pin, but the rook can block. So the correct answer was yes, indeed, queen g7 check. He goes here, and then discovered like the queen falls. And if an intermediate here, then we just move the king up, and if the king goes here, then bishop b4 check is game over. So yeah, this was the correct answer, which we definitely missed. Why it's clear. Oh yeah, of course you can have it. I guess this zero trade, because why not? Mistake? Why really it's a mistake? Okay, let's put the pawn. Okay. Well, can I just not take it? I mean, why not? Uh, maybe here. Yeah. Bro, what's it even doing? What's even the answer? Yeah, exactly. Queen G6, G6. Yeah, yeah, exactly. No point, and game is over anyways. Yeah, so let's just jump on to the next puzzle without any hint or something, and let's go and do some warm up. One or two, three or four warm up. I didn't see the answer, guys. I didn't see anything. Let's just do the warm up, and then let's start some main puzzles today. Let's see how are we gonna do that. I am feeling pretty sorry, pretty underconfident because I'm playing some games definitely not with full focus or something, but I'm making some tactical errors and something really unacceptable like is the most basic element of chess calculation and all these things. But I'm not that bad of a calculative player. I just probably need to give my best. And yeah, okay, all right, let's see. And maybe I'll just not I ought not to do anything. Uh, I ought not to move on without finding the correct answer, no matter how long it takes. Like at least 20-25 minutes of thought will either prove that I can solve a puzzle, or it's genuinely hard and I learn something, or I'm just stupid enough to overlook something very easy. That's some kind of minuscule learning as well. But never mind. Uh, Long story short, you don't give, and you just keep going. These hurdles, these obstacles, or as I would like to call it, like these waves, or these imbalances, these ups and downs of the graph are just part of the deal. Overall, the Sensex must go up, and yeah, let's focus on the long term game and not focus on a day or two of you know just a day or two of unproductive work or something, like not up to the full efficiency. But let's rather just focus on the eternal truth and getting the rating, getting some points, learning some new things, and at the end of the day, improving our calculation chess and getting better at it slowly but surely, climbing up the ladder. All right, so the move which I just used to check the answer, queen e3 rings a bell to me. But no ifs and buts, that's a pretty nice move because I really don't know where he would accept, just save his queen. But a better answer to just a better improvement of that same variation of trying to deflect the rook, which comes with a multiple threat and a kind of fork is that, of course, if we go queen e3, he can just go rook h1, let's say, for instance. But if we go queen e5, then we are threatening, of course, queen b2 checkmate, which is a very strong check on the diagonal. And his bishop or queen cannot give us any checks. Let's say his queen comes on e8, then we can just I guess why not? We can just go on h7 and I can't find any more checks. And indeed, if he captures our queen, then there's that back rank checkmate. If he plays c3, then we can capture the rook. And if he moves the rook anywhere, then again it's the checkmate. So I don't find anything significant for black. White. So let me take my chance with this one and let's see what goes on. Because yeah, queen e5, boom, nothing else, game over. Yeah, pretty good warm up. I know that's what they call it as. Boom, shock, game over, KO, KO, boom, shock, KO, boom, shock, KO, boom, shock, KO, boom, shock. I was in Bhopal, you know, I was in Bhopal, I think last June or something. Yeah, maybe it's last year's June. And I was playing a very nice event, and I got some chance to communicate with one of the peoples I just got a slight chance to work with. Not exactly to have some good words with him. Like I did have a few words with him, but not good enough to have a nice communication, which I did when I met him in Bhopal. I am Sagar Shah, the chess-based legend, the chess-based founder himself. And yeah, there were many things, but what I really want to relate is this replay training feature he emphasized upon when there was just a tiny camp. He was just telling something and just some calculative studies. So I just realized, like in Bhopal's chess based India camp at Nicholas residence. So there he was just telling some few things, and I just realized whenever watching a classic game or just doing these calculative puzzles, that's really important. The way he emphasized the feature of replay training, that how it can help a lot, guessing the moves and making sure the enthusiasm goes on, and just a very nice way to solve puzzles and everything. And let's just use it, cause why not? Like this wide as a distinctive advantage. Wow, just some tracking stuff and everything. So I'm gonna disable the hints for sure. No hints, check the tactics lol. Disable the hints for sure. Okay, so I'll try to play the correct answer, which okay, let's see what rings the bell to me. Something I really likes control over the d5, but it is quite equal. The first check or capture which comes to my mind is knight to b6 and knight to c7. I don't know why, but they are begging for some kind of thought. So first I'm going to consider knight c7, as I can see some potential tactics on the diagonal. So knight c7, bishop c7 is obviously not good because we are just going to go rook c7 and sorry, rook rook d8, bishop d8 and rook d8, and the knight is pinned and the position seems sort of paralyzed. Plus we are in exchange. No, we are not an exchange job, but that position seems pretty nice to me, and I doubt if there's anything debatable in that position because our next threat is gonna be okay. Knight is jumping, and maybe we can just play. Okay, let's say he plays e5. Of course, knight c. Okay, let me articulate it. Maybe you're not getting the point. So basically, I'm trying to say that we go knight c7. He goes bishop c7. I try to go rook d8, bishop d8, and then rook cross d8. And then my idea is bishop h6 to bishop d7 trapping. And I can go bishop h6 because he can't play knight h6 as the rook hangs, as the knight is pinned. But I'm trying to say that knight c7, bishop c7, rook d8, bishop d8, rook d8, and then he plays this move a5 with the simple idea of stopping my bishop to a6 idea. Okay, or you can just capture with the rook and also making some space for the rook to go. Okay, but is there anything I can go rook c8 in that position and the bishop seems trapped? No, but he can play rook to a7. But I still think that position should be pretty fine for me as even a pawn. And is there something better? What about knight b6? Knight b6, king b6 doesn't ring a bell to me. No. Of course, knight c7, king c7 won't work because we have rook d6 and rook d6, then we have bishop f4 winning the rook back with a very strong attack. I think winning a pawn is not that bad after all. It's giving us quite a decent counterplay and it's taking the bishop, snatching away the bishop pair and having all our pieces very active, and that should be a good key. But I'm still trying to be principled and look for something better, but I just can't find it. So am I gonna give up? No, I'm just gonna see the answer because I'm pretty sure about that. Knight cross c7 exactly. Of course, I didn't mention this because bishop h2. It's pretty obvious. King f6, rook d6, bishop f4 plus minus. Bishop cross c7, rook d8 plus minus. King h2, and obviously this doesn't need any mention. Like okay, these moves are pretty obvious. But I'm just curious enough to see what happens in the end of the variation, which I thought might not be best. Of course, bishop h2 is the best, but I'm just a bit intrigued about this position, let's say. And Harshit? I'm a noob, guys. I missed the four. Not done, but okay. Let's just jump to the next person. I have not seen the answer, and if you have, then you better not. You better unsee it and start thinking. Enter moves on the board to play and throw the king, whatever. I'm just gonna ignore this, but I have a call. Let me work on that. Meanwhile, please, you guys think on the puzzle. Just need to work on something. We need some sound, guys. I'm just a bit caught up with some work, but I'll just not care about it and let me just focus on the puzzles. कुछ तो करूंगा आज भाई कुछ तो करूंगा. I'll do something for sure today, something significant for sure. Even if I'm unfocused, I'm still gonna give the best, and I am gonna make a video, solve even one puzzle, two puzzle, that doesn't matter, but I will do something for sure today, guys. 14 minutes into the recording, and I have just done stupid talking and not any good chess. So let me just zone in. I need a coffee. All right, bishop h2 rings my mind, but bishop h2 doesn't matter. You can just go bishop f3, bishop f3, bishop h2. Nothing is happening, but there should be something on the diagonal. My intuition says that. What is that something which must be happening? Let me just focus. There are no hanging pieces or anything. Queen c7 cheap tricks doesn't work because you can just play h3. g5, g4 is something that obviously doesn't make sense and it's just my brain overthinking. So yeah, let me think. Something which I should see within a second, which I'm missing, but now I see it. What about Rook C2? Game over. Rook C2, Rook C2. What is the best reply bro can do? I can't find any. Maybe queen to d4, but that would be suicidal because he can just go bishop h2 and then we're gonna win the queen. So he just probably will capture the pawn on b7. No, 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 no. b5, I mean. But then what about rook b8? Too many intermezzos on the way. Something. Okay, rook c2, queen b5. Bishop c6 and everything. What about that? Bishop c6 looks quite interesting as well. We just need to deflect the queen, bishop c6. What about bishop c5? Okay, yeah, I will skip just a second. Maybe the queen. Okay, let me think. Rook c2, queen b5, bishop c6, queen a6 is the only square remaining. But we just can't capture because our bishop is gonna hang. But somehow we should find something to deflect him from that diagonal. I'm not getting it, guys. That doesn't mean I'm stupid. I am. And I missed something very easy, which is definitely not good. But let's not give up, guys. Let's not give up. You think, I think that's what the drill is all about. So let me be bishop. Okay, I'm thinking bishop c6. That doesn't work somehow. But the bishop must hang. There should be something on the diagonal. What about just tingling with rook c2? Bishop c2, but that won't make any difference. Because capture, nothing. I really want to make sure this works, but it just somehow doesn't work. But okay, this protects it, and then right, guys, I can't screw it up at the wall upstage. Bishop a6. I What's the whole यार वैसे सच बात बताऊं ना, so I don't see any problem with playing b4 as because if he does nothing, of course, if he captures on d6, then we can just go queen d6, and that's a clear exchange. But if he does nothing, then pawn cross a3 will be a very strong cross pawn and quite decisive as the rook can come to a file or the rook can come to b file, and that could be a good move. And again, the point is very simple. If he just goes a b4, then we can play a rook c2, and then he won't have anything to defend his b2 bishop. He also counter with anything like again queen d4 because bishop h7 just loses to a discovered check. So I guess b4 can be a move. I'm just looking for some counterplay. Let's say he goes bishop a6, but then again we have very strong interments of bishop a3. And then if he goes queen b2, anything that doesn't matter because that pawn will be very strong. So how about making that move? Let's see b4. That's perfectly good. Thank God. Now rook c2 and he goes here. This intermezzo definitely not a rook is gonna hang. Simply capture this. Your move is clearly the best, and I am not interested in this replay thing. Okay, okay, this is not the best thing. Let me just see the answer. Before rook c2 is a mistake because queen e4 and white is black is slightly better. Yeah, for sure, slightly better. A b4, same idea. Quite not easy. Not easy, but I got it, guys. I'm a genius. A b4, very simple idea, and rook c2. This is what happens sometimes, guys, because I that is the thing, wait, don't judge my playlist. I just need some good songs. Uh, Maybe this one. Hmm. So sometimes these puzzles occur, and my brain just goes in a deep thinking state because the matter is very contradictive. I was just solving a puzzle in this book, attack and defense, and there was some attacking puzzle. I just got a deep calculation playing like something like rook f4, rook h5, some calculative stuff. Just a situation where the knight was here, and then I can feel that position, but that typical when the queen is here, knight is here, and just trying to deflect this knight or maybe get some rook into the game, more pieces into the game. But again, the thing was very simple, just playing e5 and then like some moves which even strong players miss, something very subtle, something very tiny. And when someone just tells you one move, the move just clicks and you're like, oh shit, how did I miss this? So b4 is one of those moves when someone just, if let's say I give this puzzle to someone, to any of my friends, let's say, who are rated above like 15, 1600, and any of my chess friends, um, any of my chess friends, and if they are not able to solve this puzzle, as soon as they say B, they're gonna, oh, they're gonna go like, oh, B4, yeah, B4 protects. The brain is gonna just see everything. So that's just something I don't know what it is about, but as soon as I'm just diving into such puzzles more and more, I'm just realizing a very subtle difference between calculation and and these tiny tactics, because calculation can be somewhat deeper, that you have to find such tiny little moves after a lot of forcing moves and after a series of a lot of forcing moves, or some sort of deep calculation where some sacrifices are involved and opponent's counterplay is involved, and you have to take them all into the consideration. And when a certain position reaches out, then such moves are to be played, which is b4, just finishing the game on the spot. But definitely you should just if you're not able to solve this puzzle itself, like in the tinier version when you just have to find one move, then I doubt if you'll be able to imagine all these things despite of all the forcing moves and everything, and then come to the same conclusion that b4 is going to be decisive. So again, that is something a bit just ironical, because these are puzzles and they require time as well, but the answers are very easy, or I won't say very easy, but very, 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 very subtle, and just trade significant and all these things. Well, I'm just learning as well, guys. My fundamental has been pretty weak in chess, and whatever I've learned is just through some hardcore experience and random basis of learning from different teachers. And yeah, I'm working with anyone sir for the past 3 years or something. Whatever he has told me, I've tried to understand everything and just learned a lot of things. I just thought, maybe it's time to work on some fundamentals and just start everything from scratch, like, A to Z, just doing some typical courses and just the elementary school era. So before is some sort of that move, where there's no calculation involved, but I still think that it was not that easy to find. So maybe this is calculation, maybe this is what I don't know. The book says, what does the book says? Edward Romain chess calculation training middle games. Okay, I don't know, guys. I'm just a newbie, but this is just something, something very intriguing, that there's nothing deep or concrete. Like I go there. Like if you're watching this and you're one of my students and you're probably getting it, look how easy B4 is. You get the idea. Then guys, if you're getting it, you have not been practicing that much. Most probably your FIDE rating is not more than 15, 1600. And most probably you're not even FIDE rated, because if you're my student, because you have not played many events and everything. But still you're getting it. That doesn't mean that you're very good or I'm very good. Of course, we both are good. But at the same time, we must acknowledge that there is something bigger, something deep, some deep calculation and everything there. A lot of thinking, a lot of complex variations are required. But perhaps this is what the drill is. Calculation involves of some dynamic and static position. This is one of those tiny little calculations. I don't know, guys. I need to work upon this. I'm working on this. I'm working on the attack and defense book, which has a lot of positions. And let me finish it. Just I don't know. I'm gonna crawl through it. I'm just gonna beg it. I'm gonna swim it, or I'm gonna sprint through the book. Let's see how the journey goes on this one as well. And I'm also working on RB Ramesh. I was working on RB Ramesh's calculation course on Chessable, but Hemant sir asked me not to do it because it can be a bit advanced for me. So I just decided to drop the idea and go back to Sam Sanklin's Chessable course. Of course, I'm not spending that much time, guys. I'm caught up with a lot of things, but whatever time I'm spending on this is just a tiny curriculum. Like this is how my chess time is spread across, and this is what I've been up to for the past few weeks. क्या करे हाँ चलो चलो चलो, करे यार करे कुछ तो करे. All right, the position is we have a really strong pass pawn. Our back rank is weak, but his king is very weak. Let me see. There's an LPD on everything, and let me just. I don't know how to calculate, guys. But the first move which comes to my mind is queen g3, pawn g3, and we go bishop b6 check, and he goes king to g2 or something like that, and we just go rook to e2, and then he goes rook to g3, and then I doubt if there's anything in that position. So yeah. Any cheap trick or anything, something like rook h1 maybe works, or something. Queen d5 takes. Okay, this doesn't work. Just try to look for some forcing moves, guys, because why not? Another move which comes to my mind is something like queen to d4 or queen to b4. I'm just considering what to opt for. Queen d4 looks more optimistic because it's slightly closer towards the king. It eyes the f2 pawn, and I just feel like it should be something. La 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 pa 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 pa. McDonald's, McDonald's, McDonald's. Would you like to have a pizza, sir? Yes, I'm in the McDonald's, but I would still like to order some pizza. There is no pizza in McDonald's. But there is pizza in Domino's, and there are even better pizzas on my favorite Lapinos. Da 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 da. Queen to d4, he captures our bishop, and then we can go queen to g4. The queen comes back to g3, and I can't find anything in that position. We can go queen h5. That is quite interesting, but I doubt the puzzle should be that hard. He goes king g2, then we just go rook g4. That looks like a solution to me, but again, I doubt the puzzle should be that complex. Though it can be, I'm not underestimating it. But such maneuvers are quite hard, and I doubt if this puzzle should be that hard. There should be something more easy and more concrete, more precise to be clear. What about rook g4? Oh, yeah, what about rook g4? Yeah. Oh, rook g4. Yeah, what about rook g4? Yeah, pinning the queen. The queen moves, queen h2 checkmate. Yeah, rook g4. Yeah, game over. Yeah, देखा है मैंने बोला कुछ इजी होगा. rook g4 खत्म. नहीं मिला यार. एक सेकंड में मिलना चाहिए था rook g4. Just not getting good at these tiny tactics. एक सेकंड में मिलना चाहिए था rook g4. तो my brain should be like in a blitz. In just a second. Okay, rook g4, easy, game over. I should have seen it coming. कोई नहीं यार, चलता है, कोई गाल नहीं, कोई गाल नहीं. My brain is not working that fast. In fact, I've won a chess event in a near my home many times, and I just didn't play that good blitz day before yesterday. And I finished fifth, guys. You won't believe, like, there were so many people above me whom I have crushed multiple times, and I just didn't play very well. I could have finished first. I didn't finish even second. I finished fifth. That was terrible. Yeah, I won't say it was not my day or something. I just played terrible and didn't manage the time properly, and it's just very bad chess. Okay, never mind. Bye. Queen goes to here. Okay, नहीं मैं सिर्फ देख रहा था that what is the move or something. All right, well, Queen f6 is not a bad move at all. Isn't it a checkmate? Queen f6 takes knight e1 checkmate. I don't think, yeah, that is a checkmate. Yeah. खत्म नहीं होगी कहानी और क्या करेंगे और क्या ओके I guess हो गया warm up 15 puzzles हो गई and now let's start some real stuff हो गया warm up they're very easy I mean of course warm up में और भी बहुत है 96 से but सभी कर देंगे तो फिर बाद में क्या करेंगे all right guys start some real stuff I finished this unexpected move Hemant sir asked me to do it specially and I've done it okay okay let me not see the answer I'm just not seeing the answer but let's just punish bad coordination in this chapter okay I'm just gonna think a bit on this chessboard, and if I'm not able to get it, then I have this real chessboard. I'm gonna align it, and you can just see how do I solve it here. But probably not today, cause one. All right, punish bad coordination. In this chapter, the mover idea which you must find is linked to a lack of coordination in your opponent's pieces. Keep in mind these issues which you may be able to use to your opponent's advantage. Keep in mind these issues which you may be able to use to your opponent your advantage. हुआ क्या हो गया मेरी reading trap pieces, a lack of free squares, undefended or badly positioned pieces, delayed development, a fragile setup. The difficulty of these exercises ranges from quite easy to moderately difficult unless an asterisk indicates that the exercise is more difficult. Easy to moderately difficult. So I guess for the first few days, we are not gonna require, okay, these are the asterisks. So I guess for the first few days, we are not gonna require much thought on the real chessboard. All right, let's go and let's just close this. Let me see. I've not seen the answer, guys. I swear. I just sometimes just don't promote my brain to see the answers. And yeah, so replay training is good, just notation se better again switch karte raho. All right, so okay, I've seen this somewhere. Isn't this that famous Carlsen Kasparov? No, Carlsen Kasparov. Carlsen ka game hai. Queen A7 is the answer. I've seen this. I have seen this. Queen A7 knight. Yeah, I have seen this. Queen A7 is the answer. 100% sure I've seen this. कार्लसन इलियानोव आई गेस कार्लसन इलियानोव बच्चा कार्लसन है मुझे इतना पता है फॉर श्योर क्वीन ए7 ओके लेट मी चेक द आंसर क्वीन ए7 rook e7 and then of course rook c8 queen d8 takes rook knight f7 fork we win and then obviously again rook a7 pawn take queen a7 knight takes then we have queen e8 and then the game is over anyways the bishop is hanging and everything poor coordination whatever yeah queen a7 I've seen this for sure. Okay, yeah, Carlson Gooder. Carlson's kid, okay, there I was sure about it. Queen a7, rook b8, of course. So yeah, okay. Needless to mention these things, guys. Okay, I should have considered rook b8 the best move and the best variation. Of course, we can't capture because we are just gonna go and capture this and this is pretty winning. Okay, rook a7, rook c8, queen d8, king d8, knight f7. Yeah, I did say that. Queen g5 and then rook cross b8. Yes, I did say that as well. Yeah, queen g5 and okay, next. All right, that's fine. Let's just move to the next puzzle. Replay training and next puzzle. No, we don't want to save. It is black to play. Thanks. Okay, मुझे दिख रहा है वो मैं बस ऐसे ही देखने के लिए चला था बट मुझे भूल गया आपने कर रखा था. This is not okay. मेरे points क्यों काट रहे हो यार? This is not so good because of हाँ दिख रहा है मुझे मैं ऐसे ही चला था. Okay, sorry. Let me think. All right, the first move which comes to my mind is obviously Queen 8, but no, it can't be that easy. Actually, queen b8 is more better. Queen b7 is more better because queen b7, rook f3, we have some slight pin across the diagonal. And what I'm trying to say is that maybe we can just play this move. Okay, well, I guess this is not that hard. Queen b7, rook f3, rook c3, queen c3, and then e4. A very nice move. The queen moves, and then we can just capture the free rook, but then our knight hangs as well. But then we have a very strong discover attack, playing pawn to f2 check, and let me evaluate that position. Let's see. All right, the material is equal on the chessboard. So first we go queen b7. He ought to go rook f3, otherwise uh, no other move. King g1, then the queen g2 checkmate is coming. And then when he goes rook f3, we can just directly go e4 as well, but directly e4 he can just play. Okay, what is he gonna play? Okay, let me first say takes. Okay, okay, well, material क्यों दे हम, क्यों ही दे material, क्यों देना बिना मतलब का material ना, क्यों गिनूं मैं rook c8, क्यों मैं गिनूं, क्यों गिनूं मैं ये कि वो pawn से मार दे, मैं उसका rook मार दूं, वो नहीं मारेगा भाई, queen से ही मारेगा, क्यों क्यों. Bishop b7, then I'm going to go e4. And then if he goes back, then we can obviously take bishop c3. He can't go pawn c3 because that's hanging. But if he plays bishop g7, then we are just going to capture the free rook on f3. And let's say he obviously can't capture on f8 because f2 would be a devastating checkmate. So let's say we just go queen b7, rook f3, pawn to e4. And then he goes bishop g7, rook on pawn plus f3, queen cross e3. And then we just give an intermediate check, cause why not? On f2, and then he plays queen e4. So we just take, and then we just capture the bishop on g7, and then we are an exchange job. But we are gonna lose the exchange back cause the bishop can just capture on b3. ये भी तो मर रहा है. So I guess, guys, the correct answer should be to play queen b7, rook f3, rook c3, queen c3, and then no, 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 no. And then we go e4, and if he dares to go queen d2, then we are gonna go knight c4, pawn c4, and then we are gonna capture the rook. And if he dares to go something like queen to c1, then we can just capture the. Okay, no, queen c1 पे हम क्या करेंगे, तब भी हम bishop c knight c4 मार सकते हैं, cause why not? Why not? Yeah, I'm sure about the answer. Queen b7. Okay, takes 100%. Mistake nahi yaar. Oh, order, move order. Queen c1 ही problematic होगा because वो बचा लेगा 100%. अच्छा, queen e3 भी तो मर रहा है. No, Dawar जी is no. यही होता है कभी कभार, ठीक है. एक्चुअली ना मेरे एक सर थे बचपन में, उन्होंने ऐसे एक छोटा सा टॉपिक बताया था. कुछ तो था, तीन चार चीजें लिखवाते थे बोर्ड पे अनुपम सर. कुछ था इफेक्ट, एक और था कुछ इफेक्ट कनेक्ट, पता नहीं कुछ तो था. इफेक्ट कनेक्ट लॉजिक्स, एंड उसके एंड में एक और चीज थी अरेंजमेंट ऑफ मूव. पता नहीं मैंने कहाँ से पढ़ा व्हाट वाज दैट थिंग अबाउट, बट आई जस्ट रिमेंबर दोस द टाइनी लिटिल थिंग अरेंजमेंट ऑफ मूव. Sometimes you have all the right ideas and you're 100% sure. Like I said, I said I saw all the ideas pretty clearly, right? I saw e4, I saw rook c3, I saw knight c4, but what I messed up was in that arrangement of moves. So that is something you should check. And just some acknowledgement sir gave me long ago. Yeah, so queen b7 here and knight c4 was to be played first, was obviously the queen e3 hangs. And again, the same idea and exactly the same thing. But it's all right, guys. It's all right. Very easy stuff. Let's move ahead and let's keep our journey going. चलता है. I gotta be a bit slow. I gotta be a bit slow. I gotta be a bit more subtle. Mistake अब क्यों अच्छा नहीं, ठीक है. You played the exercise mode, ठीक है. All right, let's go to the next puzzle. Is it an asterisk? No. It is white to play. Okay, so can we just not go knight f5, threatening a checkmate? Or why not? Can we just go queen g7? Cause that's stupid. So we can just go queen. Okay, for knight d5 also looks quite interesting. Knight d5, queen g5, and then takes. Nah. Knight f5 is gonna go queen f6 probably. Doesn't ring the bell to me. Pa 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 pa. Bishop f7 doesn't ring the bell. Knight c4 quite interesting, but again nothing's happening. What about knight g4? Because if he goes queen g5, then again I don't have anything significant. Some bad coordination of his pieces. Okay, I really don't know what is gonna happen, but my subconscious is gonna be trained to spot such bad coordination and maybe some positions. But कहीं तो मैंने पढ़ा था कोई आर्टिकल में कोई बुक में कहीं तो कि रशियन स्कूल एंड सब बाहर की टैक्टिक्स यही है कि बस positions and they just improve a lot of chess, solve a lot of positions, boom, your chess is improved, boom, that's it. It trains calculation, wisdom, and the subconscious mind handles it well. So let me just not use my own brain and probably just go with the flow and do what I have been told by my teacher. So let's just think the bishop on d3 is slightly hanging piece, and I just feel there can be something with that. I really want to play knight f5, but that does not work. Queen f6, queen g5, the big headache. कुछ तो होना चाहिए. What about bishop g? Look at that stupid for so. H4, quite interesting one again. Queen f6 is the safe spot. All right. What if we go queen g4 and our threat is to, sorry, knight g4 and our threat is to just take knight h6, quite an important pawn, and the s7 falls as well. And if he goes queen f6, that is not possible. He goes queen g5, then we can play no, not h4, but what if we just play f4, threatening the bishop on d3 as well. And then I don't think if he has any squares left, because if he captures our bishop, then knight f6 we win the queen. And then if he captures, if he goes queen f5 trying to protect his bishop, again knight h6 we win the queen. So h4 is quite interesting as well, but why not f4? Because h4 he can just कुछ तो difference होगा. Well, I don't seem to find any difference to be very honest, but I kind of like, okay, you know what? No, I have to choose one. Knight g4, queen g5, h4 or f4. Both looks equally good, but there's some slight difference. I will consider that h4 is not good due to queen d2. I don't see any problem with it to be honest, because we can just go knight h6 and then knight f7. But I would prefer to win a simple piece with f4. Well, his queen is trapped, then I guess yes. Queen is trapped, I guess. So, yeah, कहाँ जाएगा यार? कहाँ ही जाएगा? नहीं, I guess it's trapped only, right? Knight g4, f4, yes. Okay. नहीं भाई तू रुक जा यार, मेरे को तेरा नहीं देखना यार, तू मेरी वेरिएशन चल देता है यार. Knight g4, queen g5, queen f8, of course. Okay, knight h6, yeah, of course it's winning. f4, Topalov, Galfan, Wykenzi, queen h5, queen f5, knight h6. Okay, that's obvious. चलो बुलावा आया है, पापा ने बुलाया है. माता ने तो ऑब्वियसली अभी नहीं, बट पापा ने बुलाया। All right, guys, shall we call it a day? Okay, let's call it a day. Fourth exercise is pretty good. Answer नहीं दिख रहा है मुझे। एक कर ही ले क्या, फटाफट कर ही ले क्या, कर ही लेके नहीं यार, पापा नीचे खड़े डांटेंगे। All right, guys. Well, I've been just tracking this time. It's been 45 minutes, and that's definitely not bad considering that we have been doing it after quite a long time. To do it consistently, instead of just gymming one day or just running one day for 2 or 3 hours and, maybe running a marathon. I prefer to just do a slight brisk walk daily as the consistency compounds. And sometimes you get lucky, and you're not going to miss your lucky day if you show up every day. So hoping for the best. Let's start. If let's see if this can instigate to somewhere better. I hope you had a nice time. Quite some decent positions, and if you have been watching this video, then 45 minutes into the video, plus a lot of training on the real chessboard, pausing the videos. So I guess you have done good training for. I feel good, bro. Like I have done something good for today in chess. That is definitely very minute, but something significant as well, because it just compounds over the long term, and I feel like that. And you're watching this video and perhaps you're learning from me, then bro, को और मजा आया होगा, आपने बहुत कुछ सीखा होगा, and trust me, this will compound, you'll improve more at chess, and I just hope. Thanks for watching. See you on the day 4. Take care, guys.